All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Card Talk. I'm Ryan, joined as always by Tyler and Lou. And on today's episode, we are going to talk about a massive Steph Curry sale, all about the finals about to wrap up with the NBA, NHL, and more. But more importantly, we're going to start with what's on your mind, get an idea of what everybody has got going on and what they're thinking about today as we start today's episode. Ty, let's see let's start with you. What's on your mind as we start this episode?
We got a lot on my mind. First, no more leak. All right. And it wasn't a leak. It was a paint job. All right. Second, somehow I got convinced to record this show during the semifinals of Euro 2020. All right. I don't want to.
Can I step in for 1 second?
Yeah. Oh, sure.
I think yesterday we had a little bit of a fire drill brought to you by someone behind the scenes on this podcast. So we were trying to figure out when we were going to record it, and maybe in the shuffle you got confused.
Well, no, listen, I'm a team player.
Yeah.
All right. So I didn't bring it up. I kind of, what I tried to do was poke and prod. I said, Lou, like, you can't make it, right? Like, and you were like, I might be able to. And I'm like, Jay's in the background sitting on Lake George right now. And meanwhile, I'm here trying to watch Euro.
It's definitely not Judy. So
that's what I was saying.
Take that how you will.
Yeah. It's not Judy. The guy can't find a backup flight to do anything. So that's on my mind. We got a lot of card shows to go to. I'm pumped about that. Another thing that's on my mind. You know when there's the thing that it's like nagging and you know that you got to do it, but you just don't end up doing it, and it sits on your shoulder, and every day you think about if you did it, it would help, and then it snowballs. We shipped out the cards today, and I want to give you major respect, and I want to give everyone in the hobby massive respect that does breaks and organizes the logistics around shipping and customer service to get that stuff out, because we finally, I believe, maybe 7 weeks later, might be 7.5 weeks, shipped out the cards for the Prism break that we did for free. And all those people got a 1:37 p.m. sticker and even merchandise that our hosts don't have. So we got that out the door.
Credit to you for getting ahead of that.
And, well, I had to wait 7.5 weeks because the stickers took a while to come in.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're all getting a slot in the EPL Prism break because it took long. So there's that. Another thing on my mind is we have the football Prism break, Jay, that we got to coordinate, make that happen. Another thing that's on my mind is these NFT Panini Prism. Everyone keeps tagging me in these like whatever looks like a Prism card, NBA basketball NFT stuff. I got to dig in there a little bit. 2015 Devin Booker. We should have bought all of it. It should have all been acquired.
Right. I think we need to set some ground rules for this segment.
Yeah, those are the things that are on my mind.
But like, it's one. Like,
yeah, but no, it's not.
You're doing like the whole rundown of the show.
Where's 2015 Panini Prism Devin Booker in here?
No, I understand, but like everything in cards is like, hey, it's on my mind. Like,
it's on my mind.
No
it's
shit.
on my mind. Like, that's what's on my mind.
Ty's got a lot on.
There you go. There's always a lot on my mind. That's what is on my mind for this show.
Okay.
All right, Lou, what's on your mind?
To be respectful to everyone here, I'll just stick with one thing.
Interesting.
I'm gonna go with what's on my mind is that I might be the worst eye grader in the history of humankind because I just got a PSA order back from July. Well, I got it back a couple weeks ago, but I didn't know I had the box here, but I did, so I opened it yesterday. I'm gonna lead it off with a 2018 Juan Soto update, PSA 7. Crush that one.
Sick, dude.
Yeah. Good.
And then
card.
Yeah. And then the other big part of this was like when it was a different world in cards, when I thought like submitting a 2019 tray was a good idea.
Oh yeah.
So I submitted like 5 of those, got some 10s and 9s on that. So I feel good about that. But what a disaster. Brian, big fan of base cards. I know loves that play.
Big base card guy.
Yeah. So that's on my mind. I think I need to get better at grading. And so I'm going to make that a focus of mine going forward.
Nice. A couple training courses. Maybe sign up for the Card Collector 2 grading masterclass.
Ryan's not that close to it, but maybe.
Yeah, that's what we've learned today. His
He's got a hand
CTO,
for
his
that.
CTO handles that.
Okay. All right. So what's on my mind? Like Lou, I will stick to the guidelines and respect everybody's time. But the thing that is continuously been on my mind for the last 3, 4, 5 weeks since we started talking about this is still card show season, right? Where July is going to be a crazy month. I talked to Lou about it before we started. Boston's this weekend. The Causeway show at TD Garden will be in attendance for that. Then we are going to be in Atlanta and Dallas the following weekend. And then we're basically 1 full week back. And then we've got the National, right? And I've talked about it before about like, what have we done today to prepare for the National? And, we're making good progress every day, but it is overwhelming. There is a lot to do. Just so many things that you wouldn't think about that you need to do beforehand, right? More table space means, more, table skirts and more showcases and more dollar cards and right. Just so many little things you might not think about that you're going to need for an entire 5 days of the show. So really just been preparing for that. So that until the National is over and we're past that, that is going to be what is on my mind.
Can I get a countdown?
Yeah. Right. Where are we at?
Today would be until the show officially starts because we record on Tuesday. Today is Tuesday since we're recording. So tomorrow would be 3 weeks until it starts. So we're at 22 days officially.
But we get in on Tuesday, so it's kind of 3 weeks.
I get on Monday.
Oh, sorry.
Weird flex.
I mean, so you're under 3 weeks.
Weird flex. Okay.
If we're being honest.
Yeah, under 3 weeks.
Can I I got one more thing on my mind.
Wait, Ty, you had like 7.
Guy, I just
We
want to
only
ask
got
you,
1.
do you use those headphones on a daily basis? Because I feel like you've had that knot on the right side for like 6 weeks, and I just don't get it.
That's actually so true.
Brother, never ever use these. This is the only time I ever use these is for this.
So they'll
never
just
use
sit
headphones.
in that spot, and you just pick them up once a week and plug them in.
Literally, that's literally all I do.
It just dawned on me.
I don't ever get on the laptop.
Knot.
So this laptop sits here. The light sits here. The microphone, right, sits here. The whole setup is literally once a week, and it's just for this. Nothing else.
Respect.
Nothing else.
I had to call it.
There's probably a couple more down here. No, that's actually the only one.
Never once were you like...
Yeah, never once was like, nope, don't care.
Ty was getting roasted. Ty was getting roasted for his too many takes, so he had to jump in with something. And he found one thing he could attack, and it was the curled up wire.
Be careful. All right.
So I kind of hinted at it before we started the show, or as we started the show, but next, week or so, 2 weeks really, a lot of finals, a lot of, closings coming up here. You've got the NBA finals that start tonight. Booker, Giannis, Suns, Bucks.
No Giannis.
Well, Giannis is questionable. Upgraded.
Maybe.
Upgraded.
Right? So maybe game 1 of that. The Canadians extended the series last night, going to game 5. Lightning, NHL, that's about to wrap up. Tyler mentioned earlier Wimbledon. That's almost a wrap. Tyler also mentioned and complained he's not getting to see part of the Euros. That's today.
I did want to make a note that just while you were saying what was on your mind, I just made a Spain wager, pregame Spain wager.
Interesting. So Ty's taking Spain there. Mm-hmm. So just want to get your guys' take. It seems like, now that I think about this, a month from now, realistically, what sports are we going to have on?
Premier League.
Is that it? Baseball, if you count that.
Yeah, Ohtani is the most famous dude in the world.
Jason,
Ohtani is making baseball cool single-handedly by himself again.
You just haven't watched enough Fernando Tatis, but that's fine.
I watched him. He did that the catch where he did like the extendo, like Inspector
You think
Gadget
Tatis
move.
Isn't cool, but you think Ohtani's cool?
I think Tatis is cool, but he's baseball cool. He's not I pitch and hit bombs cool.
But that's the definition of baseball cool because he can pitch and hit.
Isn't Tatis
what are you talking about?
Isn't Tatis?
No one does that. That's like
so. That's baseball cool.
No. I'm saying like Tatis is cool, like, but in the realm of baseball, you got random people being like, "Wait, you're telling me one of the best starting pitchers, like, is also like got the summer like home run chase going on right now?"
feels a little subjective, but that's fine. Ohtani's awesome. I'm all in.
Ohtani's taking baseball out of baseball.
Okay, I'm all in. I feel great about it. As long as baseball is getting some love, I'm in.
So, yeah, right. That was a big disrespect to baseball right there by saying what was going to be on in 1 month, but we'll slide that under the carpet and keep it moving.
Right, it's like, I got to watch the Ohio State white on red game on Saturday.
I would much rather watch that than F1.
Agreed, actually.
I would start watching F1. There's a lot of things I would prefer to watch.
Great. Look, F1. Run.
Can you guys pick a Premier League team for this year?
Chelsea, for sure.
Yeah, I'm Chelsea too, all day.
Look.
You guys, where'd this come from?
I've been pro Chelsea.
I hate you both.
Scroll back on the IG. I mean, I don't watch them every game. I'm like a passive fan.
That's fair. I do remember you saying you had it on the background on the TV once in the old shop.
Yeah.
Big pickup for you over the weekend. Big transfer.
Oh, the biggest. Sancho.
Ryan has no idea. But
Yeah,
I've been
Man U.
preparing
I did
for it.
see that.
I've been preparing for it.
Because Ty talked about it with I saw somebody tweet about Ty. Was it you talking about like a bunch of the guys in the England team will be starting for Man United next year?
Well, there is a bunch of guys, but what they did was a classic. They didn't play him all tournament while the transfer talks were going on. This is what England does. And then because Manchester United is like the creme de la creme from a brand perspective of England, he signed for them. He was playing in Germany before. He signed for them, and they made sure he started the next game after not starting or playing really at all. But because he's the Manchester United guy now, like you can't make him be the big Manchester United signing, and then the guy can't even crack the lineup. So they slotted him in there.
There's that direct of a connection?
Oh, yeah.
That's
it
kinda
matters.
cool.
Brand matters.
They
They're not
say
gonna,
so, right?
Yeah. Who? United?
Man U?
No, we're going. No.
Have they stunk recently?
They finished in second last year.
Okay, I don't know. I'm asking. Keep going.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ryan.
No, I was going to say, so as we're talking about the Euro, right? We've talked about this is like the finals section.
Mm-hmm.
Ty,
Mm-hmm. Predictions.
let's get an NBA prediction and let's get a
Yep.
Euro prediction.
This is why I like this.
Who you got winning both?
So we're going to do a little round table, Euro, and then NBA, and I'm going to kick this off.
Okay.
All right. I've got Spain versus Denmark. And it's going to end up, the cup, the trophy is heading to Copenhagen. Denmark is winning this thing.
Team of Destiny.
It's a team of destiny. It's the greatest story in 15 years. Greatest sporting story in 15 years. And then I got, see, this pains me. Suns in 7. I got Suns in 7. It pains
Suns
me
in
because I think
7?
it's 7 and it's Suns in 5, but I would just be sad. Clearly, you can tell my prediction is based on what I want to see, not what I believe will happen. And Suns in 7.
Okay.
Lou, what are you thinking?
Chris Paul with a big fourth quarter.
Yeah, so let's pretend that I'm not looking up the odds to the Euros right now so I can get a sense of who's actually decent.
I can give them to you too.
I'm gonna go with Italy
Okay.
to win the Euros. They have the second best odds currently.
Yep.
So I'm gonna roll with that and my people, the
Yep.
Italians.
Yep.
And then for the NBA Finals,
But who are they going to beat?
oh fuck.
They're playing England, Denmark tomorrow.
All right, so Denmark. They're gonna beat Denmark. Denmark's soul's gonna get ripped out in the final.
Oh, that's tough.
And then in the NBA Finals, I'm gonna go Suns in 4.
Sweet.
It would be the coolest thing ever.
It'd be the coolest.
That's actually, yeah, true. That would
Suns
be
in
crazy.
4 to win the finals would be
That would be
control.
nuts.
Do you think Giannis would ever recover?
The
The
free throw
Suns-
thing's a problem.
The Suns win in 4 if Giannis doesn't play. I just
Some
don't
are
see
arguing,
They're better off.
most
without him.
notably, Charles ain't 1-0 Barkley, that they're better without him. How does the card market feel about that?
disagree?
Here's an anecdote. Shabazz Muhammad. Remember that guy? Played at
for the
UCLA.
Of the Spurs for a bit, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think he was a journeyman.
Okay.
He was the original, looked like he was 40 when he was 17. He was drafted one ahead of Giannis.
13, 14. I think he went to the T-Wolves.
Yep. And now he's a big card collector.
Is he really?
Yep.
We should get him on and see if he'll say he's still better than Giannis if he got picked ahead of him.
He got drafted ahead of him. He's better.
All right, so I'm gonna actually switch it up here for the Euro. I'm going to pick England to win it all. England to win it all. That there's a lot of talent on that roster. I'm gonna go with England to win it all, but I'm gonna pick them to beat Italy. So England, Italy for it all, and I'm gonna pick England to win.
They do have a lot of talent. That's true.
So Denmark's not even gonna make it.
Yeah, they're out.
They're just not a team of destiny. Best story in 15 years until it's not. But
killing me here.
The hard part is the hard part with like the Bucks Suns is you just don't know like if Giannis is going to play. If you told me Giannis isn't playing for the whole series, I'm definitely taking the Suns. If
Giannis he's clearly really hurt.
Yeah, agreed. I saw his knee. I thought it was torn.
I actually think hyperextensions are equally as much mentally brutal as they are physically.
Afraid of doing it again.
Yeah.
Yep, agreed. It looks tough.
Because you can hyperextend and not really get it messed up that bad, but what you went through, like you think you might not even have a foot anymore after a hyperextension like that.
So if I'm going to sit here right now, I'm going to say just because we don't know anything about Giannis, I would say Suns in 6. Knowing nothing about the Giannis injury, I'm going to assume he's not going to be a major factor in it. So I would say Suns in 6. If Giannis plays game 1 and is available the whole time and no minutes restriction, then I would change my pick to Bucks in 7. But knowing what I know now, I'm picking Suns in 6.
So your official pick is Suns in 6. I don't want to hear it. If the
Suns
Bucks
in
win.
6.
Okay.
Deal.
It's going to really hurt this podcast.
Yeah, I don't want an asterisk.
No, I get it.
If the Bucks win the finals,
yeah,
but we talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago when we talked about like getting to this point about how this is a great matchup for cards, though.
100%.
Right? Booker, Giannis, those are 2 major superstars who sell very, very, very well in cards. The fact that one of those 2 is going to win a championship definitely matters in cards.
I just had a weird moment. So I just had not deja vu, but remember when I did the podcast from vacation in that cabin that I was staying in? When we made our initial like bracket NBA, I thought that was for this year. That was a year ago. Remember the bubble?
Yeah,
I think we were talking about the Clippers. It feels like that. I was at this start of this playoffs, but I guess not.
Nope.
Something that I think we should talk about is Goldin and Barstool. Saw that they're getting in the mix there. How do we think about it? What's on your mind?
I would like to hear from Ryan.
So I think what Tyler's looking for here is a little pat on the back. So
no. I'm actually not.
Maybe give Ty the.
I'm not. I think it's crazy that part of my take, arguably the number 1 sports podcast,
not arguably
culture. Okay, the biggest sports podcast. Some may say. Sorry, like ESPN and whatnot.
Who, Barstool?
Yeah, but part of my take specifically is like,
oh yeah,
and they're just going to be doing live breaks on the show. Healthy indicator.
So it sounds like it's a partnership, right? Like they're going to be doing it like on a regular basis or with some regularity.
I think it's a weekly thing for part of my take. We
talked about this before, right? About when the card market was hot, what it would mean when Barstool got involved. The market was just too hot. This is $1 billion industry. We talked about it before being unregulated. It just seemed like every path led to Barstool getting involved at some point, especially with the audience that, their average audience being fairly similar to the same card collector group that, you would say is the average audience for cards now. It's this definitely, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they do it. Initial thoughts are it can't be a bad thing for that kind of attention. The attention that Barstool can bring, it's got to be massive.
Mm-hmm.
So first thoughts are it's going to be great for attention, the people they could bring into it. Lou, you look puzzled.
I don't know. I'm not. The thing I would like to see is a more accessible break. Like the one they're doing is going to be a pretty expensive break, I think, right?
Chrome, 96, 97 Chrome.
Yeah, it's going to be a fairly expensive break. So I would like to, I'm sure that's coming, like they're going to open with a bang, obviously, right? But I'll be interested to see how they can get that, like not younger, but like the less expensive, newer products involved as well. But I think it's great. I think it's going to be awesome. And I hope our boy Doug's gets involved as well.
So I think, but I think that it's not a one-time thing we're talking about here.
No, it's not. They're definitely going to do more of them. But
I think that it's like a ongoing thing with Part of My Take.
It's a
like a
Barstool.
weekly
It's not just
like
Part of My
giveaway.
Take.
Yeah, but on Part of My Take, they're doing a like Big Cat and PFT.
Yeah, they're selling the spots though on Goldin.
Are they?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm pumped to see it.
Me too.
So additionally, we saw some news this morning, seems to be all over Card Twitter and Card Instagram, that there was a $5.9 million valuation of the company Alt bought, I believe, 51% ownership in the Steph Curry 2009-2010 Logoman from National Treasures, PSA 8 with a 10 auto. Just want to talk about that. It's got to be one of the more desirable modern day basketball cards. I believe that broke the record.
It did. So real quick, just to
Mm-hmm.
make sure we have everything right, because these things get a little hairy from time to time. It was 5.8 million majority stake. They didn't specify if it was 51 or not. Just want to put that out there.
Okay, understood. So it could be 54 or what? They have more than 50.
There's been some things that have happened recently.
So
I
Alt owns the majority of the card.
Yes.
I think what has been our discussion a little bit, and I think individuals, is like, is that a record sale or a record valuation? And what are the differences, and is there impact in categorizing them similar or different? Obviously, news like that drops, it drags the entire Curry market up, right? There's a lot of people, we've mentioned the word unregulated on here a few different times, why this whole industry is crazy and fun. And 20 times I've wanted to talk about crypto and NFTs and all the madness that's happening over there, but we won't get too into it. But if you have X amount of dollars, say you're sitting on a ton of Curry stuff, or you have a group of investors sitting on a ton of Curry base, acquiring that at 50% of 5.8, which is 2.9, is not 5.8, brings the value up of your other stuff. That's just the truth. And so I think valuation versus like record sale it's a little bit of a different combo.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit weird to call it like record breaking if you're not going to fully buy the card. That's just my perspective. Like, congrats to them. That's an awesome card to have, and they're fun. I think they're starting a new fund and everything. So like, that's really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't like this whole thing where like we feel this is what I get worried about. The need to like break records every time something big happens is not a good precedent, in my opinion, because then you're asking for, because what we're all worried about with like the fishiness of that can become a lot worse over time if every time a big sale happens, it has to be record breaking.
Agreed. Something that is on my mind as maybe it's a little bit of a counterpoint is that
Lou, are you keeping track? Is that 8 things on Ty's mind or 9?
Probably 10.
Just making sure.
What I was going to say is like people do buy these things as flex, like as a
totally.
When I think about art, it's like someone will pay $1 million more for it to be the most expensive ever.
Totally. I'm saying in a world where all these companies are building up and they're getting stronger and these funds are starting, the idea that every time there's a really big card like that, it needs to be like record setting and it needs to be like treated as such is like, to me. But I did want to say this. I had a funny conversation with a friend of ours earlier today. If you had $6 million, right? Just, like pretend, just for fun. You have $6 million. You're looking at an exquisite LeBron BGS 9 or the Curry PSA 8 that just sold today or valuated today. Which one are you taking? Ryan. It's tough, right?
Yeah.
Say them again.
Would you rather have the BGS 9 LeBron exquisite out of
Curry.
23?
I think Curry too.
You
Curry.
would take Curry?
Yeah, Curry.
We've talked about it. We've said we've had the Curry convo.
Yeah, I believe Curry is one of the best long-term card people. He's just
In
one of the
all
guys I
that,
believe in the most.
Yeah.
I
Across
can
all
s-
sports, everything.
Yeah,
I can
agreed.
see it. I think it's just really hard to turn down a LeBron card like that.
I believe in
Does anyone
Curry's.
feel there's less Space Jam juice than there should be?
Significantly less.
Do you think there would be more if LeBron was playing for another title?
When does it come out though? Because there's still some time, right?
It comes out in the next 2 weeks or so.
Ty, are you saying no to my question?
I think there might be more juice. Sorry. Would there be more attention and awareness if LeBron was playing for the title?
Correct.
1,000 million %. Might 50% of it be hate for the sheer fact of hate? Yes. Is that getting a little bit old and tiresome? And is that now part of his narrative? I believe so.
10 days to July 16th Space Jam.
You talking about LeBron?
Talking about LeBron, yeah, obviously the trolls, everything, this, that, the other thing that his legacy carries that only you get to when you get to that stratosphere. So I'm not trying to disrespect him or anything like that, but I believe sometimes as a fan, we need to appreciate him while he's here, but I think at times people get tired of it. And so would there be so much more? Yes. But would there also be talk shows and everyone of being like, LeBron, it's not even his team. He's trash, this, that, the other thing. Just talking head style. I do.
I'm really worried the movie's not going to be good. This is irrelevant to this podcast.
No.
Space Jam is one of my favorite movies of all time, and LeBron's probably my favorite athlete of all time, in life. So this is my nightmare scenario because this movie might be not great.
Well, you got to give him respect for going for it because expectations walking in are going to be hard.
Right, but he's not going to say no to that movie either.
Yeah, I don't think so. He waited. Remember, it was he waited many years until his production company, everything could get in the mix. Smart play by him, but we'll see.
I'll be there July 16th with bells on, but I'm worried about it.
I respect that.
I love it. I love the respect. Real quick.
Oh, you're going in Dallas. Are we?
That's my nightmare. I actually might go. I might skip Friday night, whatever we're doing Friday night. And
Car Talk watches Space Jam.
I mean, that'd be
live
great.
from Space Jam.
Live from the AMC in Dallas. All right.
Into it.
All right, so possibly a little stop to see Space Jam while we're in Dallas. Maybe Card Talk live from Space Jam in Dallas, Texas. But on the conversation of Dallas, right? We've mentioned earlier, Boston's this weekend, Chantilly, Atlanta, Dallas. We will specifically all three be at the Dallas and Atlanta shows together. Lou, Ty, thoughts in your mind about what you expect to see going into those shows? This is really the first time for me that I'll be at a major show like this 2 weeks before the National, and the market's kind of in an odd space right now, especially with some of these, the NBA season, NHL season's about to end. Football is going to pick up here, but baseball will be going, right? So what's kind of your feel, maybe your strategy going into, next week we'll be in Dallas and Atlanta. What's on your mind for that?
Lou, you kick us off before I say what's on my mind.
I'm interested. I'm happy. I'm excited to be there. I'm excited to hang out with you guys. I don't anticipate there being anything mind-blowing happening at either of those shows. I think the people who are there to buy are going to be the people who are there to buy. I don't think there'll be anything too exciting or interesting or not overly interesting there to buy rather than what you typically see at a show like that, because everyone's going to just be looking forward to the National and people can't afford to take 2 trips and all that stuff. So I think it'll probably be a little bit tamer if I had to guess both of those shows. And I'll be looking to buy while I'm there.
Space Jam's the 16th?
Yes.
That's not Dallas, is it?
Yeah, Dallas is the 15th, 16th, so that's Friday.
So then we have NBA Finals while we're there. 17th, Atlanta, Game 5. Got to keep that in mind.
If necessary.
If necessary, unless...
Suns in 4.
Yeah. I'm coming into Dallas as a buyer, heavy.
Really?
I'm coming into Dallas.
Ty, just to be clear, let's just clarify.
Yeah.
With the intent to sell at the National, or with the intent like you would be buying no different than you would at the National?
With the intent to have more inventory at the National. And reason being is that I'm going to the National as a vendor and as a Card Talk, doing some content. And I would like, my strategy is that I want to have a very, at times, like in investing, if you want to make a calculated bet, you go deep. If you want to be a little bit more safe, you go wide. I want to take the time now over these next couple of weeks, and what I've been doing in the past couple of weeks, to widen my net of what I have so that I can make more connections, potential more sales. To me, I see it as more of a networking, like it's to sell at the National, but I believe I can connect with more new people. If I just roll up there with Mad Soccer, I feel like I'm going to see a lot of the similar faces. Connor McDavid. Correct. Connor McDavid, which we've talked about in the past, since has just won the only second ever unanimous MVP in the NHL. Him, other than the great one. A couple alternative plays, but your boy's in the Wada mix. I have some Ohtani, not enough, but I clearly need to get some Tatis. So I'm looking to go into Dallas and buy things that I typically don't have. So not footy, not basketball-ish, but I want to get weird. That's my plan. And then Atlanta is a whole new scene. I don't know. I've never been, so I'm just trying to catch the Georgia vibes a little bit.
Yeah, so my first thought is I wouldn't, if I had to guess, Dallas will be slower than Atlanta. Never had Atlanta before. Atlanta big time show. I assume Atlanta will, since nobody's ever been to that, since they've never run it, I think the Atlanta show will be pretty busy. I don't anticipate Dallas, like Lou said. I don't anticipate anything crazy happening at Dallas. So I just, like Lou said, right? Not everybody can afford to go to all of these shows. It's expensive, right? To travel and hotels and all that kind of stuff that close to the National. I wonder how many people are actually going to make the trip. I'm more interested in going there and creating content and recording a podcast with you guys than I am going to buy, right? I'll go through dollar boxes. And I think that's my intention here is to really go through and dig and, enjoy this a little bit more. This will probably be the most nonchalant I am at a show ever. Like if I get to buy, cool. But if not, Nationals 2 weeks away and there'll be plenty of opportunity there. What were you saying?
You're going to hang out with us, actually?
I mean, as long as you're hanging out at the $5 tables and the dollar tables, I'm in.
Got it. So not as nonchalant as I thought you were.
Yeah.
No, for sure. More nonchalant. No, Lou, this will give you the best example. Like, take a lunch break to In and Out, kind of nonchalant.
Understood. That was the most nonchalant I've ever seen you.
Correct.
But
that kind of nonchalant.
Yeah, like you don't even tell. Like, are you going to tell us when you arrive? Because you don't even do that normally. We have to find you.
It's true. At some weird table.
Brother, we rode to the airport together.
That was once.
Hotel last time.
No, wrong.
If you remember,
no, it was 2 times ago.
Lou
You went there last time.
was not there last time.
Yeah. So I was clearly too focused last time.
Exactly. Not nonchalant.
Correct. That would be the opposite exactly.
Ryan,
Correct.
What's the hottest thing people look for in your store in the last 72 hours or the 3 days prior to the holiday weekend?
You want to know it's so weird? There's 2 things that I've been selling. One, we've sold a ton of basketball product. Something I didn't anticipate selling a lot of, right? It seems like we've talked about this a million times. The NBA seems to be slowing down. A lot of 2021 basketball, like Contenders, Noir, Court Kings, a bunch of different random basketball, and then 2021 football. But one thing we've talked about today is like revamping our singles. We have sold a ton. Like I took a picture. I posted on my story like last Wednesday. We had like 14 people in the shop Wednesday at 2 p.m. Like I think 10 or 12 of them were digging through. Like we've got 40 or 50 boxes available to look at, like single cards, value boxes, that kind of stuff. And I bet 10 or 12 of them were digging on a Wednesday afternoon going through stuff. That's one thing that's really surprised me lately is how many people are looking for single cards. Like, we can't keep up with it. That has been like crazy.
PSA's back. PSA's back.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that. They opened up another.
So what did they do? They went what was 300 is now 200.
No, so that's Super Express. It is still the same price.
300.
They brought back Express, which used to be 150, and raised it to 200.
And they also said, but their core focus still remains on the backlog. So it feels like Express is a little delayed still. Now, that 150, Ryan, 18 months prior was how much? Like 30?
Express was $20.
No, Express wasn't $20. I bet it was
75,
100. I'd have to look. I don't know.
Really?
Express $20?
Right. Question. Pokemon. Are people buying Pokemon products still?
Packs all the time. Like, it's one of our best sellers. Like Pokemon Wax, we sell a ton of
Wax.
it.
Like the new product that comes
we
out.
We sell here and there. We've had a couple people come in looking for that kind of stuff recently, but packs are still one of our better options.
How do we think NIL impacts draft?
We
have not talked about this.
Let's do it because I'm excited for this.
Yeah,
it's
and I know you as
deal.
Mr. Ohio State.
Yeah, so we talked about this before previously. I would love to be able to find that episode. But I asked about this originally, like, because when this happened, we said, like, is Panini going to get Ohio State football under contract at, $1,000 a person for everybody to be able to sign autographs, right? Where you could rip collegiate Prism draft picks and pull a Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, or a, 2-star players from any collegiate team out of a box while they're in school. What does that look like for the card market, considering that doesn't happen now?
My counter to that is, if you are Chris Olave, you're probably being advised to not do that deal and work with Panini direct on something.
Correct. That's where it's going to get interesting because these kids there's going to be freshmen that are going to be signing exclusive deals with Panini and Upper Deck and Tops. There's going to be 4-star quarterbacks that Ryan's never heard of that sign pretty well, I mean, I didn't know how deep you were on the recruiting.
I love
Listen, you're not a Pac-12 guy, I know.
Well, that's on me. But seriously, like, I think the deals that are going to come from like Panini and Upper Deck signing these kids to exclusive autograph deals, and if that carries into their pro career too, that's all going to be super, super interesting.
Yeah, like Ty, didn't Vayner just sign DJ, the Clemson kid? Right, like,
and there's a world of what you can do because previously that was the deal, and you can obviously create your own stuff. Like you don't need Panini's demand generation if you're that tier. The lower tier guys may take that, but I think what you'll see is, these marketing agents will go to an Ohio State and represent 15 of the, mid-tier guys and try and bundle them up and do stuff. But I think that the relationship between the university is the university going to bring these guys deals? I don't think they're going to want to take them per se. It's going to be interesting.
I can't imagine a world where Ohio State is going to go to Panini and be like, hey, you can sign an exclusive deal with us, but then our quarterback isn't going to participate or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting.
I look forward to the day where I get a decent name Ohio State guy in the shop to do an autograph signing and can pay, like, because Chris Olave came to the shop a couple months ago, right? Got to talk to him for a little bit, 15-minute conversation, super nice guy. Now I could be like, hey, Chris, you want to sign this mini helmet? I'll give you $100, right? Real quick, 100 on the spot. Like, I would end up on an NCAA probation list for, hey, don't you do business with this guy? Had I given Chris Olave $100?
Yeah, or Olave.
Since I'm not in the SEC, that's only where that's allowed.
It would give you a little bit more clout. I'll say that much. But you could pay him, however much to join your break. College, it's just all changed.
It's very, very interesting.
I think it'll be interesting see how it plays out, right? Because I had a conversation with someone in shop recently who covers the Ohio State team, and we talked about like what's it going to be like because now they can get the money, right? And what happens when like the fourth corner on the team, like what is his expectations that he's going to be? Because we talked about getting Buckeyes for signings, right? Is his expectations going to be he's a $2,000 an hour type guy? Or is he realistic and maybe he's more like $800 an hour kind of guy? So I think it'll be curious to see what happens with some of these guys' expectations and who actually gets deals. And I think you'll be able to see that pan out. And
also the pregame post, the postgame post, that what we've seen over the last 2-3 years from like a marketing department creep was, if you go to Penn State, you get after every game a personalized like designed image for IG. Right. And these guys post them because they want the photos and whatnot. Now you can do $1,000 deal with the sub shop and it's like post game, you got your headphones on, you're like, boom. I got a tag card collector too. Big W. Real
quick before we move on, I've got a quick question. Saw this on Twitter the other day and I forget the exact wording to it, but if name image likeness would have been around for the last 30 years, 40 years, which athlete would have benefited the most from it?
Reggie Bush.
Wow.
His career was tarnished because of that shit.
So
his college career.
I would say my first thought, quick 5-second answer is Tebow.
Mm-hmm. So where my head goes, because I've been thinking about the Reggie Bush one, I don't think he would have played. Like he would have played, like he wouldn't have kept playing. He would have made enough money that he didn't have to keep playing.
Well, you make money because you play.
Yeah, what do you mean?
But after 1 year, you don't.
Do you think he would have never went to the pros and everything? You mean? That what you're saying?
He would have. I'm saying he would. He plays the 1 year at USC. He becomes a phenom. Now he doesn't need USC anymore. So it's like I can take a year off. He's still going to go to the league. NFL, I think Jay jumped the gun. I was going to say Zion for sure, because he would have made $5 million the second he committed to Duke. I don't know how the law trickles into high school.
Yeah, and I'm obviously thinking like
I think Reggie and certain guys, Trevor Lawrence would have thought much longer, much harder of sitting out a year because he would have had a lot of money to his name.
Do you think that impacts people sitting out now?
100%.
If the
like Chase Young
bring enough money,
like Chase Young after his second season in Ohio State would have been a top 5 pick. I mean, dude was amazing, right?
And Clowney too, remember?
Sure, yeah, making all that money. That's an interesting point you bring up, right? Because that's what we forget in this, right? Like when Vince Young had the Rose Bowl, or Manziel beats Alabama
towards the end of their career, and then boom.
Right, you have these big moments. Think of how much these players could capitalize off that moment, how much money you could make right then and there. Some of those guys might be like, hey.
Johnny Football definitely wouldn't have played that year where they went like 6-5. He would have been.
It's a very interesting calculus that is not for this podcast, but when money is no longer a factor in college, having money is no longer a factor for a college athlete, it gets really weird, really fast.
Are all the bowls going to be now paying the players to play in them? Gone are the days of, I'm not going to play in that bowl. Well, why? It's worth for the Tostitos bowl or whatever. Tostitos, I know, is BCS, but like the 7th bowl to pay the starting quarterback $150,000 to like show up and play.
It's going to get weird, right?
Mm-hmm. All right. So a lot more to talk about. Feel free to let's get some. I would love to get some takes from that. Tag us on your IG story. Tag us on Twitter at Card Talk Pod. Which athlete of the last 30 years would have benefited the most from name, image, and likeness in the NCAA? Would love to get some people's feedback, see what you guys think.
And we'll send out some stickers to the best 5 answers.
I'm going to have to answer that, I guess.
Yep.
All right, so let's get into Play of the Week. Again, Play of the Week is brought to you by eBay, your number one stop for all things cards and collectibles. So as always, if you are new here, this is something where Jason, the producer, fields submissions from you, the listener, on your play of the week on eBay. Tyler, Lou, and I have not seen them, but we will go through them one by one and live react to them and then determine a winner. As we get into this, did we ever get a winner from last week?
Jay.
Because we all had different ones, and we went to the
Mr. Lake George.
My bad. You guys just bringing me up, just put me on blast, and yeah.
We'll tighten that up. We
got to tighten it up.
We have to determine a winner for last week and this week. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Love you, Jay.
All right, so we've got to pick a couple winners this week and next week, but this is from Adventures of Anthony A. It says, I bought this a few months back in expectation of the fourth. Didn't hurt that Chestnut broke his own record with 76 dogs in 10 minutes. Ended the auction an hour after the competition ended. Great show as always. Looking forward to running to you guys at the National, Anthony. All right, so he bought a Joey Chestnut PSA Authentic signed Ginter card. Doesn't say when, but it was for $85.
A few months ago, he said.
Yep, a few months ago, and sold it on July 4th for $255. Creative. I like it. Thinking ahead, finding something before it happens.
This is starting. So this is an excellent start to Player of the Week.
It's so simple, but it's
all the things we love.
It's great. And meanwhile, people have been saying cards are dead, and my man just pulled 170 out of his hat like it was nothing.
He also did the really good job of ending it. He planned it to end an hour after the tournament ended.
Like very simple, what's the main thing everyone degenerate gamblers care about on the 4th of July? What does everyone know in this country? The hot dog eating contest. Who's the legend? This dude. I mean, ESPN, all the memes after were like, Federer would never. He couldn't win this many titles. Sure. It was like Joey Chestnut's like the all-time dude.
I think he's won 6 in a row?
I think he's got like 16 or something.
He's going to win until he decides he doesn't want to win anymore.
He's a man of mental fortitude. Respect, Anthony. I like the play.
Love that one.
Looking forward to seeing you at National, too.
All right, this is from DZ_sports cards. It says play of the day. Wait, play of the week, DZ.
It's a play. I mean, he's clearly making a lot of plays. This is his play of the day.
My man's got so many plays. He's got them daily.
Miss me at play of the week.
It says bought 2 Revolution DeAndre Ayton rookies in March of 2020 for $1.99 plus shipping. Sheesh. Sold them today for $22 plus shipping. Huge percent. Patience is key. Picks to follow.
Love that.
$1.99 for $22.
I like Revolution in a weird way.
Me too.
I like Revolution.
Inexpensive product. Clean design.
They're a little busy, but they're nice cards.
Yeah, some cool parallels. Obviously, big fan of the Galactics.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. One of the short print inserts. But right, not everything needs to be $1 million.
It's correct.
Yeah, pretty
this adds up. It doesn't. If you had $5, you could have turned it into 22, right? 22 into 40. We talk about this all the time. You got to start somewhere, and it doesn't require a $10,000 Tom Brady auto to really get started in cards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Ayton, I love Ayton. I love watching him play basketball. I think it's really good.
Love it. All right, next one. All right, this is from Select Significance. It says, was scrolling one day and bought this card, 2018 Topps Chrome rookie, Shohei Ohtani, pitching refractor, PS10 on January 3rd for $75. It was a deal I couldn't pass on. Held till recently and listed for $8,000 CDN on eBay.
800.
Or 800, yeah, sorry, Canadian on eBay. And took an oboe for $875 on July 1st. Now taking the profits and reinvesting into other cards for larger plays.
He listed it for 800.
Yeah, I was confused by that.
And he got more?
Maybe it was a starting bid?
Must have been a starting bid, and then he took it. Had to be.
Canadian.
So 75 to he got 875 for it. So
well, it was US to Canadian. What's the Canadian?
I'm doing it. So it's $700 US he got. So he made close
10x.
to 10x on that.
It's pretty good.
Ohtani.
I didn't know Ohtani sold like that though.
He's going
Ohtani is
land.
lying.
Banana Land?
Has banana land.
Ryan.
He
Well,
has crossed out of baseball. And
He could break the
into-
home run record. It's not like outside the realm of possibility.
Really?
He has 31 home runs.
What's their record in a season?
72?
I don't know, Barry Bonds. It should have been that old Roger Maris. What not Roger Maris. What was the movie with the asterisks? Is that Mantle? Great movie.
What?
51. Was it 51?
I think 72 is the single
Siri-
season.
Siri can't tell me. So yeah, I mean that's crazy. I guess I didn't realize he was that close to it. Or, like could potentially do it. So
Like he'd have to
heck of
really
a
get
play
going
there
still, but
from select significance
73
on a
Bonds.
massive Ohtani card.
So is the other one 72 with the asterisks?
No,
talking?
McGuire had 70, and then Sosa had 66 up in that same realm. Shout out to steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's incredible. This is a great job by Matthew.
Appreciate it. Good work, Matthew.
Right, you good? All right.
61 Roger Maris. That's a great movie.
Right, you there?
Some may say it's still the record.
Yeah, so apparently I couldn't hear you guys out of my headphones. Had to replug them in. Was super confused.
Should have kept the knot, but
We're back.
there.
Must have been the knot. All right, so this is Miami Cards 84. It says, hey guys, longtime watcher, first time submitter for Play of the Week. New to soccer cards and bought my first ones back in October for $25 and then another in November for $15, both being Pulisic's 2017-18 Topps Chrome Rookie. I had planned to get them graded with PSA at some point, but with their backlog and a stack of cards I would grade before them, I decided to move them. Just sold both in a lot for $75. After shipping, taxes, fees, I'm making a 30% return, which I'll use towards a Ronaldo slab at the Dallas show.
First off, I'm pumped you're going to be in Dallas. Can't wait. Second, I'm pumped to see Pulisic selling on July 3rd. I feel like it's a soft moment right now in the Pulisic cycle. Gold Cup's coming up though, so we should definitely see some good action late August. That's what I got.
Yeah, like it's similar to the DeAndre Ayton thing, right? You don't need $1 million to do this, right? A little bit of knowledge and looking it up, and that's the consistent theme I've seen with a lot of this is people that have done their homework have benefited from it, right? It's just there's plenty of opportunity out there if you're willing to put in the work.
100%.
All right, so this is from Justin Brain. It says bought 4 DeGrom rookie PSA 10s for basically $55 each beginning of COVID, March 2020. Just sold 2 of them for $795 and $855. Holy cow. Best pitcher in the history of baseball with 2 Cy Youngs for $55 each. Very happy with the play. Holy cow.
When he says best pitcher in the history of baseball, is that like the way that we talk, like in very like over the top terms, or is like there a possibility he might actually
like
be
not
the
better
best?
than Nolan Ryan, right? Like we can agree on that.
He's been extremely good for a decent stretch here. I think it's a pretty big jump to call him the best pitcher of all time.
Oh man, well, Jay's in the chat saying he's way better than Nolan Ryan.
Jason also made a bet and then folded on it in a 72-hour period. So I don't put a whole lot of stock.
After we all told him that was crazy. Like
I don't have a whole lot of interest in what Jason has to say about this topic. The Mets fan.
Yeah. The biggest Mets fan.
All right. But
And then me saying Altuve is the best second baseman of all time.
heck of a
But
play
he
though.
bought 2 of them for $220, and he sold them off for $5.
No, he bought 4 of them for 55 each. So 4 for $220 and sold 2 of them for basically $1,600.
Wow.
So made
$1,650.
8x on his money on 2 of them and still has 2.
That's good work.
It's a very good job.
Good work.
I would probably be selling those other 2 pretty soon. But that's
4
a good job.
PSA 10s. Jeez.
All right. Is there any more, Jay? Nope. That's all of them. This is an easy one for me.
Yeah, I think
Me too.
I think we're consensus locked in here.
Yeah. This is the Joey Chestnut.
This is the Joey Chestnut show, baby.
Yeah.
Because
this took planning.
you know what I'm interested in when I think about these stuff? What else is this guy cooking up? What's he working on right now?
Kind of like
Anthony?
like a Roberto type thing.
Like, yeah, exactly. If he made this, you don't just make this play and then sit on your hands. You're
There's
actively
nothing.
cooking these plays.
I think one of my favorite things in the world is when someone does something that in hindsight seems extremely obvious. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty
Yeah, it's,
obvious
like,
that this is a
super
good
simple.
idea on July 5th.
It's an Allen and Ginter Joey Chestnut auto.
The most obvious thing of all time, and how that didn't cross my mind makes me so upset.
Do you think similar type thing in terms of relevancy? LeBron's not playing, and the Topps Chrome has gone back up from 12 to 17, 18. There's one at 20K. Does LeBron's Space Jam movie have any impact on the price of his Topps Chrome?
Probably. I think what happened was everyone was looking for the floor on LeBron. That's what it seems like. And they found it, and now it's going to go back up again. Speculation.
Yeah. No,
Ryan, your thoughts?
I don't. Yeah. I don't think. Oh, I thought you were frozen, right? I don't think Space Jam is what's popping the base. I think it is what Lou's saying, cyclical, and I think we might see it run.
Ebbs and flows.
One of your favorite cards, right?
No, it just doesn't do anything for me. I've said that before.
It's paper. I mean, it's pretty much paper, right? LeBron paper.
Would you rather have $20,000 or a LeBron rookie card?
$20,000.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Respect.
I just think with what you could buy with $20,000, I would rather buy LeBron rookie autos or patch autos for $4K a piece and buy
don't
5
disagree.
of those. I'd rather buy 5 LeBron patch autos or 4 LeBron patch autos than have a Topps Chrome PS10. 10 out of 10 every day, twice on Sundays.
I came very close this weekend to buying. What's the one where he signs it on the basketball?
The Sweet Shot.
Yeah, I was this close to buying one of those this
Yeah,
weekend.
that's a cool look. A lot of LeBron's rookie autos are cool. They've got like the 23 in his auto. It's a big fan of
The
LeBron.
thing that scared me was like because it's on the basketball, like the auto is like very sketchy, but it's unavoidable with that one.
Yep.
The old Spalding auto.
Yeah.
All right.
Anthony,
so
big ups.
Congrats to Anthony, Adventures of Anthony A on IG. He is this week's winner. Appreciate everybody for all of their submissions, but that is all we've got for Play of the Week. Play of the Week is brought to you by eBay, your number one stop for all things cards and collectibles. All right, so as we wrap this up, we've got this week's releases. We got the latest launch. Not a ton coming out this week. I was looking earlier. You do have Diamond Icons Baseball. You've got Luminance Football, couple different things. I'll pull it up now. Diamond Icons Baseball, which is, let's see, I think that's pretty expensive, isn't it, Lou?
It's decently expensive.
Yeah, so it's not even in stock at the moment. You've got Extended Series Hockey, which I think is like an update type thing. They've never done that before. And then Luminance Football. So
Luminance Football is the first Trevor Lawrence autos, right?
no, so they won't have, those shouldn't be in pro uniform. The first pro uniform should be Elite.
What's the one I just saw then?
I mean, they've never done it in the past. I mean, not saying they couldn't have done it. Just in the past, Luminance.
Maybe I might be wrong. Hang on, let me check real quick before we get off. Panini America. This might be college uniforms. Sorry, yeah, I was thinking about college uniforms. Yeah, okay, never mind.
All right, real quick. We've done this on a couple episodes in the past few weeks. Piece of advice for the National. Somebody's getting prepared.
Piece of advice for the National. You go first.
Wasn't prepared for my own question.
Yeah, I mean that's just a crazy move.
Solid reporting. All right, let's see. Advice I haven't taken very well in terms of the Dallas show, as Lou and Ty will tell you, but make time for friends. Right? I talked about this when I've done some of the YouTube videos preparing for the National, that I can tell you a lot more about the people I've met and the fun times I've had with other people at the show, a lot more than I can tell you like what I picked up at the show. Right? Those I can speak a lot more to. Like when we went to lunch in Dallas, I could talk a lot more about that trip to In-N-Out midday show recap than I could talk about anything else from that show. So that's what I would say is make time for the people that, make time for friends in the hobby. If you're going to be there, that would be my piece of advice.
It's not just a business trip, right?
Agreed.
I was literally going to say that. I was going to say squeeze it. Squeeze every second of it. It'll go by fast. And you're going to be tired. And it's my own advice because that's what I'm trying to make sure that I do is the old 8:30 or 9:30. Like I'm shutting it down because I'm dead versus go hang with the peeps, get in the mix a little bit. You'll remember it and enjoy.
You're saying
it
you're
more.
not going to shut it down?
Yeah, I think that is like a hard thing because it's very tiring, and then you
Yep.
and it's 9 o'clock, and it's like
all day long
Yeah.
for 6 days.
yeah,
I lost my voice last time.
it was.
I wonder if I'm gonna do that again.
I feel like I didn't have legs at the end.
I'm gonna go with if you're just attending the show, make sure you get there early because I think the lines are going to be really crazy. All
Agreed.
signs point to the lines being extremely crazy this year. So
Anywhere and everywhere.
I would prepare to get there early and stand online.
3 weeks.
See ya.
3 more weeks.
3 weeks till national. We have the box break, 2 box breaks coming up. The NFL one that we announced last week, 5 weeks, or it was 2 weeks ago actually. So Jay, we're going to be announcing that. We have to get the old winner. We have to get last week's winner of Make a Play of the Week done. And then hopefully people are going to be receiving their cards from the basketball break. That's that.
Sick sign off.